Hey, welcome back. We're on to the letter G. G is for goal. So I've got a couple of questions for you to start with. How do you know that you are successful? How do you know that when you have succeeded? So you won't know unless you identify an endpoint or a target that you need to reach. Reaching that target could become your definition of success. So these targets are also known as goals. Goals are very important because they allow you or your team, your colleagues, your division, your department to focus on what needs to be accomplished. So goals are important because they allow you to consider about a plan, to develop a plan. Goals allow you to generate enthusiasm. Goals are very good when they are precise. So think about a very vague goal like, I want to do something amazing. That is very vague. Vague. It's extremely subjective and it's almost guaranteed to lead to nothing being achieved. It's not specific enough. So there are 5 characteristics I want you to consider when you define a goal. So they're conveniently covered by the SMART acronym, S-M-A-R-T. So what does SMART stand for? Here goes. So S is specific. So first of all, a goal really has to be specific. It's got to be clearly defined, so it's obvious what the result or the outcome needs to be, should be. The second letter is M for measurable. So the goal should be measurable. This will allow you to confirm that the outcome is actually obtainable. So measurable goals allow you to determine how much resourcing is required, how much money you need to invest in the project, when the end date should be, those kind of things. The measurable goals really allow you to indicate your progress as well, because if a goal is defined to achieve this much, then you'll need to know when you're halfway there, quarter of the way there, etc. So I think that's really important. Okay, the third letter is A. So A for attainable or achievable. So your goal really has to be attainable. A goal which cannot be achieved, it's beyond your budget, beyond your level of competence, beyond your level of thinking, etc. It's not really going to be achievable. You can leave those to one side. So there's no point in setting goals that can't be achieved. Yes, of course, you should dream big. It's really important. And often it's important to think beyond the goal. You know, what could we do in phase 2 or the next level, just so you design for success. But for the main purpose, your goal should really be attainable. If you can't attain it and you don't achieve it, that's a very punishing position to be in. The fourth letter is R for relevant. So the goal really has to be relevant within the bounds of your available resources, your knowledge, your finances, and most importantly, time, which we'll come to in a moment. So it's also going to be relevant with due consideration to your sort of existing obligations, your commitments, your constraints. So that's either you personally or within your business's boundaries if we're talking about business goals. It's no point if you're a business who operates in the finance industry to have goals related to painting the walls in your office. I mean, that's great. It's good for the ambience of the office, but it's not really relevant for your overall business goals and profitability. So your goals really have to be relevant. Focus on what's important. I think that's the message I want to get here. Relevant goals indicate focus. Finally, the letter T. So T stands for time. The goal really must be time-based. It must be accomplished within a certain amount of time, a realistic time frame, but you must have a time frame. You should never define a goal without an end date, even if that end date is going to be many, many years away. If you're building a huge project, such as getting a man onto the moon or a man on Mars, it's fine. Big goal, that is, of course. You know, not many people, organizations will do that. But if you do have such a big goal, great, but still pick an end date for it. You've got to work towards an end date. Otherwise, you end up with drift. So even if you have a smaller project, medium-sized project, put an end date in, because that will allow you to focus resources. It'll give you a boundary as to when you need to deliver things by. And of course, the world moves on. Technology changes. There's environmental changes, social changes, etc. So if you have a project where there's no time boundary and you deliver it in about 10 years' time, the world's possibly moved on. No one will be interested in your project anymore or your product. So think clearly about the time boundaries of your project. Time to market, delivering on time is really, really important. Your competitors will be doing the same thing as you, or if it's in the workplace, your colleagues might be doing the same thing as you. It's not appropriate for you to just have a project where you just finish it whenever you feel like. So if you've got long-term goals, maybe over 6 months, over 1 year, in the years bracket, then break those down. So break them down into 1 year periods. Otherwise, it's really, really easy to lose focus, to procrastinate, to think you have too much time and just say, yes, I'll do that later on. I'll do something else for now. Let's wait till the new year. The holidays are coming up. Let's do it after that. All these kind of things, all these excuses come into play. So it's very important to pick your time frames. So there you go. That's the SMART acronym. S.M.A.R.T. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So again, going back to goals, generally you should always declare and define clear goals. So this is important in your work, in your business, in your hobbies, and even in your life. You'll actually achieve what you want rather than just meandering from one random outcome to another. Clear goals equals success. That's as simple as that.